Whether you're watching your favorite NBA team at the arena, the bar, or hanging at home, grab an ice-cold Michelob Ultra and enjoy every moment of the NBA season. Stock up today and watch your team drop buckets with a bucket full of ice-cold Ultra. Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2026 Anheuser-Busch. Michelob Ultra. Registered light beer. St. Louis, Missouri. Must be 21 plus to order alcohol. Alcohol available only in select markets.
Are all batteries the same? That's like asking if all soccer players are the same. Take Messi, the most decorated player ever. Is there any other player who has achieved that? No, just him. Now take Duracell. Is there any other battery with power boost ingredients inside? No, just Duracell. Remember, goats only trust goats because they're built different. And Messi only trusts Duracell.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't clone you, but it can streamline your hiring workflow. From posting jobs to shortlisting candidates to interviewing, LinkedIn Hiring Pro is the hiring partner you need, so you can focus on connecting with the right talent. In fact, small businesses report saving over 6 hours per week. So hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
Hello there, Stanley Carr here. You know, I love collecting music and sports memorabilia. Want to know where you can find some? I'll tell you. Go to oldglory.com. This website features one-of-a-kind apparel from your favorite sports teams and musical artists. And I can help you get 15% off of all items. Use the code WWH135. Enjoy the episode.
Welcome to Wrestling with Heart, a podcast looking at pro wrestlers giving back to their community. Join me, Stanley Carr, as I interview wrestling's hottest names who use their platforms as entertainers to raise awareness and do community service.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Wrestling with Heart. This is the show where we talk with professional wrestlers and professional wrestling personalities about their lives in and outside of the ring, as well as doing acts of charity work, community service, volunteering, and spreading positivity. We're always about the positive vibes here on the show. Before I introduce my guest today, I want to take this time to promote our brand new book, Champions for a Cause Volume 1, if you can see it here on your screen. I'll just pivot it over a little bit. There you go. Champions for a Cause Volume 1. It's our brand new book. Just was released recently. It's a collection of interviews with some of your favorite wrestling personalities. I'm talking about Jake the Snake Roberts, Tito Santana, Mark Merrow, Buff Bagwell, and so many others. You can pick your copy up now on Amazon.com. For $15, it is available as a paperback. With me right now, I've got a very special guest. She has worked for ECW and is currently with Juggalo Championship Wrestling. I am pleased to welcome the one and only Jasmin St. Welcome to Wrestling with Heart.
Thank you for having me. I'm very grateful to be here today.
It's my pleasure. So talk to me about your childhood. Where did you grow up?
I grew up between Europe and New York City. So it was just very structured, very scholastic, if I may say so. I grew up in a household where you spoke like 2 or 3 languages because that's how European people are. They speak more than 1 or 2 languages. I was really quiet, if you can believe that. I did grow up watching wrestling, though, with my grandmother. She was very much into it. I liked the part when she would start yelling at the screen, like she was invested in it. And I guess that's sort of like what fans do today when they yell at the wrestlers. What else? I mean, I grew up with, very basic hobbies like ballet, tap dance, things like that, theater. So it was a very well-rounded upbringing and a fun one.
Yeah, and it seems like, too, you have all that experience growing up, and so that kind of helps set the tone for what you would do later on in the world of wrestling, because wrestling, it is theater, it's drama, it's dance, in a sense, because you're constantly working with a whole group of people, and you're putting on a show, and it draws so many people to come every night. And every week you have people that come out to these events, and it's pandemonium because they're so passionate. You talked a minute ago about how you'd have your grandmother just yell at the television because she wanted the good guys or bad guys, whoever that she was for, to win. So when you're in a business like this, you can't help but feel grateful to be a part of something because there's no other feeling in the world, no other place to be than when you're surrounded by a crowd and a live audience. So that's so amazing.
Yeah, and it's fun entertaining them. When I did the NWA TV tapings last month, I think, yeah, um, it was different because it's like a studio audience. It was very old school, so it's nice to see the different types of audiences you can get with live TV tapings. And you have the JCW audience. It's a lot of juggalos, which is fine. They're very lively and fun. Um, at the TV tapings in NWA, it was very cool. They were definitely into it and, loved wrestling. But yeah, it's always worth it. Even if I'm sleep deprived, it's worth performing.
And the thing is like you have all these colorful characters. You have your baby faces, your heels, your goofy kind of personalities, your more serious personalities. It's just a whole section of diversity of these amazing, larger than life personas that you just go to and you're like, oh my gosh, here's Hulk Hogan, here's Randy Savage, here's Jake the Snake Roberts, here's The Undertaker. Just a list of people, your superheroes, your villains, your baby faces, your heels. Who would you say were people that you were drawn to the most when you started watching?
Hulk Hogan, definitely. And I actually ended up working with him at XWF. Hulk Hogan, Jimmy Hart, Ultimate Warrior, Sherry Martel, and Miss Elizabeth. And I was very fortunate to work with Sherry Martel in a mixed tag match years ago at the Milwaukee Metal Fest. It was a very wonderful moment.
Yeah, she was very tough. She was really like tough as nails, and I believe too, like she was like the only female, I believe, when she started training at the wrestling schools where she grew up. So you have like at the time, it feels like there were more men than women that were training, and then as years go on, you see a lot of women get into the business.
Yeah, 100%. And, it's great. I always encourage girls who do want to go in and manage. You should learn how to wrestle before you step foot near a ring. So you know what moves look like before they're done and where your spots are. And also, it's just good to know to protect yourself in case something happens in the ring.
Exactly. Like I said a minute ago, like it's like a dance. You're working with your partner to make sure you're doing the moves safely, executing them correctly. Nobody gets hurt in there. You're trying to have a layer of protection so that both parties are clear of any harm when you're out there in the ring. So, do you know? I know you've had a well documented history of working in the adult entertainment industry, but do you know at what point did you go, I want to give wrestling a shot? This is something I would like to pursue.
Actually, I always wanted to work in the business, but the opportunity came to me in the form of ECW because they were friends with that guy I worked for who had some other backyard company. And so ECW is where I worked first. And then I was doing, before it became a backyard trashy company, XPW, I used to do their original shows back in the late 90s. I was in the adult business for a whole of 2 years, by the way. People think I've had this long, illustrious career. It's like, no, I've had a much bigger career outside of there. So a lot of the times when I get bullied by these younger girls, I wouldn't even say bully because they're so stupid. They want to try to hold that on me. Oh, you shouldn't be in the business. Well, actually, I was trained by Mondo Guerrero, and I was doing this for a long time. When ECW decided to approach that guy about doing a collaboration, that's when they picked me to come in, and Bubba and Devon helped me quite a bit. They're really good guys. And so when I left XPW, I just kind of didn't show up one day to a porn shoot. I was supposed to be on a shoot, and I just didn't feel like showing up. Like, it's at that point where you're like, you know what am I doing? Like, I don't even want to be here. I just didn't show up, and then I gave Paul Heyman a call, and I told him I wasn't working with that backyard place, and I started working there. I was also working in Memphis for Jerry Lawler, Memphis Championship Wrestling. I think the promoter's name was Terry Golden. He was really cool. I see people like posting the old clips. It's so funny how those local broadcast clips were back then. Yeah, so it was just a fun time with great opportunities and meeting great people. But if pro wrestling did not find me, it would have found me somehow or another, I'm sure.
It's in the blood. Like,
It really is.
If you know this is what you wanted to do and be a part of something, you'll find your way in. And that's the cool thing about the wrestling business, is that there's all sorts of facets. You could be a wrestler, announcer, manager, referee, and I think there's a place for anybody and everybody that wants to do it. So you had talked about some of the people that you trained under, Mondo Guerrero being one of them. What was he like to work with?
He was funny. He'd bring in a lot of the luchas because they were around my size. They were smaller frame people to work with. He's one of those people that pushes you, not in a bad way, by the way. And I remember going out with him after to eat one day, and he drank that tequila pretty fast. Like, I've never seen people drink tequila that fast. Outside of the ring, completely fun and easygoing. In the ring, I mean, he was supportive. He pushed me, and he went along with whatever it was that we had to do to make me feel confident enough to know that, okay, she could do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. And psychology, of course. I also trained with Sue Sexton. She was working with Glow. That's who I first went to. Then I went to Mondo.
Yeah. And the thing is like, when you're constantly like having to do these drills and put the work and put the reps in, it can be hard because you're not used to working with your body in a way that's like, it's like a muscle memory. Once you do something the first time, you do it enough times, your body gets used to it. But with wrestling, it's a whole nother kind of physicality because you're putting it through so much pain, and you just take so many bumps, and you really have to make sure that you're used to doing these things and trying to do it in a way where you do it like we were talking about just a bit ago, doing it safely. And so what would you say were the biggest motivators for you and making sure you stuck with this, didn't want to give up? If things got hard, what would you say were like the biggest motivators to keep going?
Me, myself, and I. Those three people. Just myself, because I'm multifaceted. Obviously, I could do whatever I really want. And success to me really isn't about being at the top of your game. It's about being somewhere that you actually really like being. And if there's a day that you show up and you don't like it, that's not success anymore. So as long as that protocol was in place, I'll keep going. But the second something becomes just not fun anymore for me, I'm out. I don't know if that makes sense or if I answered the question.
Well, the idea is for you to be able to enjoy what you're doing, love what you're doing, because eventually, even if you go through those hard times, it'll pay off in the end. You'll see like your hard work translate into success. And you had also mentioned earlier that the Dudley boys helped kind of bring you in. What were they like to be around and working with?
They're really
them?
nice people, really lovely people, both him, Bubba and Devon. Bubba was a little bit louder than Devon, but I thank him to this day anytime I see him. And I'll tell you who was also instrumental, rest his soul, is Big Dick Dudley, because he worked at XPW at the time. He was like my best friend. Like we get into all kinds of mischief. I took him to a Gladiators tryout one day. He started throwing people all over the place. And I guess it was there, like the whole intent it was to prove, hey, not anyone can just do this. And he also told Bubba, no, she really wants to do this, blah, blah, blah. And he was extremely instrumental in that. They're all very good people, like all three of those guys.
And look, the careers that they've been able to have in the business, Hall of Famers, legends, and working with them. And then, of course, Paul Heyman comes along. He offers you to come work in ECW. Talk to me about your first appearance there and getting the chance to go through the locker room and meet some of these people. First experiences in ECW, what was that like?
It was wonderful. I actually had met everyone the night before. They were having some kind of a pre-party. And then I was there the next day. It was very different. It was, it's a place I felt like I wanted to be. Everyone got along. Everyone was really nice. You didn't see any childish politics going on in the back, which could ruin a locker room very easily. It was just pleasant. And then I remember meeting Steve Corino. He had that really cool mullet at the time. And I wasn't sure what to expect with Francine. She was cool. And, it was just very easygoing and done. I was nervous because I'd never been on a microphone in front of that many people. And then the week after that, it's funny because I was brought in back to that same venue to host the very first ever New Jersey Metal Fest. So I was just thrown into being on a stage with a microphone introducing bands. But yeah, it was great. And everyone was super nice and welcoming. And, I agree. At one point, yeah, you're not exactly the nicest person to new people because you don't know if they're tourists or if they are there for the right reasons. And I'm one of those people, you've got to be in this for the right reasons or don't be in it. That's why I'm firmly against those contests, Tough Enough. Those people aren't there for the right reasons. They want their clicks, they want their likes, whatever it is. Then you see people struggling out there that are really good workers on the indies that deserve that spot.
To be in the wrestling business, you have to really put 110% effort into it. Just like with anything else that you do.
Yeah.
You have to be dedicated, devoted. And you were in ECW for a couple of years, like you had said. You had mentioned how the locker room was just so welcoming. It was a friendly environment. I've had the good fortunes of talking with so many people that said the same thing. Favorite stories of managing?
My God, I don't know. I mean, which one, where? I loved managing Matt Necro Butcher. He was a lot of fun to work with. The St. Clair Monster Corporation was always fun to work with because I just wasn't sure. It's a faction and it was so much fun, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think there really were any fun stories anywhere because to me it was always work. You know what I mean? But fun. Was there ever a fun spot? I don't think there were ever any really fun spots or stories. I'm sorry.
I mean, you get to be around so many different personalities when you're in ECW. Who would you say did you enjoy getting the chance to work with in the company?
Rhino, Simon Diamond, Nova, and it was a lot of fun. I would say some of the most memorable stories were, I would say that was my exposure to real American culture, like Shoney's, Cracker Barrel, and places like that, Perkins, Baker's Skillet. So, I mean, those I think were more the fun times and the most memorable things. And you get to have that camaraderie with people because I'm usually one of those people inside of work, that's cool, but don't try to sit with me to eat and don't take me outside of that realm where we know each other to mix the two because I don't like mixing the two. But with that batch of people, I really like mixing the two because everyone was so cool.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about the wrestling business is that you're on the road constantly 300 days a year, and you're with a group of people that you're constantly seeing every day. So you go on the road with these people, you go to eat, you go to the hotels, you do whatever it is you want to do, need to do, and those are memories that you're going to keep forever.
Yeah. And the meals, I mean, some of the stuff we'd order, some of those places, my God, I don't even know if they exist anymore. But I do like the Shoney's buffet. That's my guilty pleasure.
Who were some people, we talk about like people you would hang around with. Who are some people you'd ride with from city to city, town to town? Any fun road stories?
Not really, because I was just usually one or two people in the car, and there wasn't anything that fun or spectacular because I'd be asleep. I mean, the most recent time is driving from, I think we were in Colorado to Albuquerque. Actually, no, that's a boring story. This is the fun one. I was in a van with cocaine from JCW, Sam Stackhouse, Mr. Happy, Congo Kong, Willie Mack. I was in the van, and a couple of other people. So it looks like there was enough gas in the car. We were leaving one town going to Wichita, Kansas, and it was probably like a 7-hour drive. We're 20 minutes from the hotel, or like 10 minutes. It's freezing and it's raining outside. Guess what happens? We run out of gas. Or so the gas gauge said. I don't believe them. And I'm out there in the middle of the highway with Willie Mack trying to like hail down a car to see if they'll get us gas. I think someone else, I don't know who got us gas, but it was like an hour later. But we're trying to hail people down. No one wanted to get out of the car to help us. So then on the other side of the van, it's this whole, I guess, freeway. It's just the grass and stuff. Willie's like, "Oh, are those cornfields there?" So that's like a weird question. Someone said, yes, there's a cornfield. So he went running back in the van, and I was stuck outside by myself. I went back in eventually because no one was stopping. You see a white van there and just someone trying to stop you. It's probably, it could be dangerous. But it was I think that was the funniest thing ever. It was funny. I mean, 'cause it's one of those things where I guess the gas gauge said it was like half a tank, then at the last second we're down to no gas. So is it the car? Is it the starter? Is it really the
AI is moving fast across the enterprise. But without visibility, it's just chaos. Different tools, different models, different teams using AI in completely different ways. ServiceNow turns that chaos into control. With the AI Control Tower, you see all your AI across the business in one place. What it's doing, what it's done, and what it's about to do. So you stay in control. To put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com.
gas? Like, what is it?
Yeah. So you were in ECW for a bit of time, and then unfortunately they closed in 2001. What was your reaction to the news?
It's really sad. And, whatever happens next, que sera, sera. And you can't get all upset about it. Just make the most of it and look for other opportunities, see what other opportunities there are. You go knocking on doors to a point, but you don't go to the point where it's like desperation. You know what I mean? So other opportunities came my way. Dave Penzer and Eddie Mansfield got me into XWF wrestling, into those TV tapings. I did TNA wrestling as well. And other small things, but I don't really like dindling around in like small indie shows and all that. So I just don't really do too many indie shows, if that makes sense.
And now you're with JCW.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there now. I'm not active on the roster, so it was good working there, and I'm doing stuff with TNA now, and I book for a company out of Rome that has some small shows, but they're packed shows, and I'm doing talking to another company in a completely different country that you wouldn't expect has wrestling, about doing some consulting work for them.
That's so fascinating. Professional wrestling is experiencing a boom period where you're seeing a lot of companies and alternatives really rise up now. And so they're all doing pretty incredible work. And I think it's going to hopefully continue to grow and get better in the years to come, because I think there's just so much demand for it, and people want to see new places for people to go and people to watch the shows. So it's a very exciting time to be a fan.
Yeah, I'm glad it is. There's a lot of great stuff out there. I worked with Death Matches for 2 years when XPW got relaunched. That's when I labeled it backyard wrestling. I didn't know what it was. But I think my only joy there was working with Necro Butcher. That's it. Other than that, I would have had no reason to show up to work for people like that. He's the only thing. And then I got him bookings overseas. We worked together overseas in the UK, Scotland as well. We worked Japan. We did a few things. I mean, he was a lot of fun. I think the scariest thing that ever happened was when I got that call from Japan, that message that he broke his hip. I'm like, okay, well, I'm all the way over here. I don't know what I can do. But yeah, I mean, I love the business. And, those who don't love the business really genuinely and aren't the people that use the business for other things, it shows, yeah.
So I want to switch gears and talk about some of the stuff you've been able to do outside of wrestling. I know you're very passionate about animal causes. What kinds of functions, as far as animal charities and causes are concerned, that you've been able to help out with over the years?
Cats, of course. I love all animals, but mostly cats. I've always wanted to work at a shelter like one day a week because I see so many of them that are just struggling with, maybe they were left alone in an alley, got hit by a car. And I really like raising money for smaller companies, like smaller shelters. There's one in California called Alley Cat Rescue that I was helping out with before. I try to go to as many of these charitable events as possible, especially when it involves stray cats and black cats, especially because they're a marginalized group of animals. I own a black cat, by the way. And yeah, I don't think a lot of these shelters, I'm very picky about which causes too, because some of these places are very shystery. I almost adopted another kitten from a shelter, but I was asking for the x-rays, which they mysteriously didn't have, and there's just something off with that. So it turns out later on that they never had x-rays of the specific cat with the injury. So you don't know, I guess someone got the cat and it died a few months later. So they didn't give it the treatment that they did. I'm very picky. So I always look and keep my eyes out for these types of charities, donate money. And, guys, even if you go to your local shelter and donate like old towels or get some cat food, every bit helps, because a lot of these times when these animals are found injured, it is a lot of money to take care of them. It's a good thing my cat has health insurance, but he's not sick, thank God. But it's expensive running these shelters. So anytime you could even just donate, and I'm big on that, is donating to them, whether it's cat food, whether it's warm blankets, towels, and most of all, donate your time if you can, even if it's like one day a week, because it doesn't pay monetarily, but it definitely pays spiritually, and you feel so much better afterwards.
Definitely do. How long have you had your cat for?
Enzo, 4 years. He's a baby. Someone said he's like a 40-year-old man. I'm like, no, he's a baby. Don't say that. Like, I don't want to hear about human years versus cat years. It's a baby cat. That's all.
Yeah, and so you want to cherish those moments, because you just, we're all here a short time, and you want to be, have the ability to cherish and be grateful for those moments, and think back fondly to those moments with your animals, with your loved pets. Could you elaborate a little bit on maybe some events that you've been able to do as far as with these causes, or things that you hope you would like to do in the future?
I've done other smaller ones in the past, like local ones when I was living in California. Then I did some in Brevard County, Florida. The smaller galas that they've had, specifically to raise money for the shelters, because that's where we need it. I don't believe in giving to the Humane Society at all, because I don't believe that's where the money goes. I donate locally. I remember there was something, I was at an opening for a brand new shelter. It's so advanced. They had individual rooms for each cat with a name on the door, but you could kind of look down into it. You could even go in and spend time with it if you arranged that. They had a TV set in there. It's like its own kitty condo. And that's the way they should be housed before they are adopted. That's my personal opinion. It was the Annenberg Pet Society or Pet Adoptions, but that's the way it should be for animals. like for little cats especially, and then it had like a whole area to climb. Their sandbags was in there, but I think that's the way they should handle them instead of putting them in these cages. And when you go to these pet stores and you see these animals in the cages, imagine how horrible it is for them. They have to see people all day coming and going, people with their dogs, people with their birds, whatever. And I feel bad for them. I want to rescue all of them, but I can't. I don't have all the space. So.
In a perfect world, right?
Yeah, because every time I go on these pet rescue pages on Instagram, I fall in love with every single cat. And I just want to reach in and grab it and put it into this, I don't know, put it somewhere.
What is it about giving back to the community that gives you the most joy?
Seeing that they're well. I used to teach French to children of incarcerated parents when I was like 14 years old. Most of these kids' parents were like Black Panthers. They were in jail for all kinds of stuff. They were probably the toughest set of people to crack because they already came from an emotionally unstable place. But it feels great. It feels great when you help people progress in life and, people that want it. And it's great to see animals in these shelters doing better because you did something to help them and it's made their life a little easier or a lot easier. Of course, adopting them is the best thing, but that's not going to happen. So.
Exactly. You're making that difference. And that's what it's about at the end of the day is you're being there for someone or a pet that's in need. And it does you good, like you said a bit ago, inside because you're making them feel good.
Well, Mark Merrow, you had him on your show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he was on my podcast once, and he's just such a good person, and you could tell his heart is in a genuine place when he helps these kids. And that's where your heart has to be. Because when people start doing things for the sake of looks and clicks and everything, it doesn't work out and it shows. Me, I personally love animals and I don't like the mistreatment of them. A good friend of mine years ago had an animal rescue and it was called the Pet for Pets Foundation. I was doing stuff with her as well. She eventually passed away of colon cancer. She was a penthouse model, so it was penthouse pet, like for pets. So that's where the play on word came in. But she had all these animals that she loved and cared for. I think the reason a lot of people like animals is because they don't judge you.
That's true. I mean, it's like men's or women's best friend, right?
It really is. And Enzo is he's the cutest baby in the world. Well, that's what I say. Yeah. And I think he basically controls me because once he sits on my lap, like that's it. Whatever is supposed to happen in the near future gets pushed back. It's embarrassing, but it's the truth.
When you have a real crappy day, you can always count on your favorite animal or animal of choice to be there for you and cheer you up.
Sometimes it depends, when you come home, what if they're pushing you to give them kibble and they're not supposed to have any more kibble? No, he's the best of the best. And like I said, he controls me. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. When you go to like these conventions or fan fests to see the fans, it has to feel good when people come up to you and talk about the memories when you were in the wrestling business.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. And, I like it when people talk about my past work and current work. And, it's nice to know you've made an impact on someone and brought back great memories. I like meeting fans. I like meeting everyone at these conventions. It's fun. I've never really had a bad experience.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people posting things. Well, fans are this way or that way. No one's anyway. Maybe the signings are cut out for some people, but not for everyone. And if you have whatever it's called, social anxiety, whatever these people are saying, then don't go there. Because then you're going to give people paying money to come in and see you a bad experience. And maybe they won't come back for other people.
It really is an enjoyable experience to be able to go and meet your favorite wrestler or actor or whoever it is. And so to have that memory, that's something that people they won't forget ever in their life.
Absolutely. It's more like an experience you're selling than just a photo.
Exactly. Especially having those conversations. Like I remember when you were in ECW, and I just want to say thank you so much for all the years of entertainment and joy you brought us, joy you brought whoever, that comes up to you. That means so much because you're out there, you're working, you're bringing these memories to people, and they never forget them.
And now that I think about it, actually, when you talked about, and I'm digressing back for a second or regressing back, the other memorable moment I would say was like that ride from Colorado to Albuquerque. I took the ride with PCO, and it was the longest drive ever.
Mm.
And then going, like, not even sleeping very much, and then going to the show, and that was like another long day. At the end of that day, we were like Waffle House eating. Some fans came up and like thanked us for the show and were just really nice, and even though like I was practically falling asleep in my grits with my face in the plate almost, it was just a very nice moment, very awakening and very nice that people appreciate you and they know what you're going through.
Exactly. You're constantly grinding it out and you're just having that stop. And there's no better feeling in the world than having people come up and just thanking you and that nice friendly gesture. Just because you just never know if someone's having a bad day, and you could make their day and just be there for someone.
Yeah, it's very important. And I don't believe that there is such a thing as fans overstepping their boundaries. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, I could understand, you take your photo, you move on, and chit chat. But sometimes, this is like a big deal to some people to meet someone that they've watched on TV or they watch in a live performance.
Yeah.
Like, it's all they have going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always the little things in life we want to be grateful for, those little simple moments.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I'm grateful for the fans like all over. So it's fun.
Yeah. Before we wrap things up here, let's talk about your podcast. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I have my live stream on Mondays, Off the Rails. It's on my YouTube, which is Krazy Train Podcast, Crazy with a K. And I have guests whenever I'm traveling. That's when I do a restream. And I have to thank everyone for tuning in, even for the restreams, because the numbers have been great. Every other Friday, I drop a video interview off of the main podcast, Krazy Train, with Jasmin St. I've been putting on mostly a lot of heavy metal musicians lately. I put on wrestlers, but that's mostly the mix of it. It's metal and wrestling. I've been very fortunate to get some great guests. It's really tough booking this type of stuff, by the way. And then being a guest on other people's podcasts, it's fun, but I get choosy. And I have sometimes I just lose control of my time. That's why I'm just picky about what I'm doing and who I'm speaking to. I know does that sound bad? No, I don't. But anyway, yeah. So sometimes you get into an overload. And I like to pre-record a lot of my sessions for the main ones so I don't have to bother with it for months. Now and again, I might see something pop up like, oh, so-and-so's coming out with an album. Let's get them on the show. Oh, so-and-so's doing interviews. Let me see if he's around. That one with EC3 was, it was hard to book, but I got it done. And he was a lot of fun to talk to.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Who would you say have been some of your favorite guests that you've had on your show so far?
Mark Marrow, Devon Dudley. Let's see. Anyone from metal, obviously. All of them have been fun to talk to. Devon, Mark. I like having EC3 on. Oh, Violent J, of course. He was great on the show. Who else? I like my live stream guests because with the live stream, it's just all happening in real time. Like J-Rod was a lot of fun to have on. And then you can catch if someone's having a great vibe or not with you off of those Goldilocks. Obviously, she's a kick in the head. I love her. And I look forward to signing with her in July at the Gathering in North Carolina. That big event, I guess.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun to see her there. I would like to get John Laurinaitis as a guest, Johnny Ace. That would be interesting. And I'd like to get Eric Bischoff one day. So those are like on my hit list of people. And of course, Rena Mero.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. That's aiming. Hey, you got to aim high or higher and higher. And you never know.
Absolutely. Us
She'd be
content
great.
creators. Yes, she would be. She would be. That would be a huge get for you.
Yeah,
Us
that's really good. I mean, I'm praying it happens.
us content creators, we just got to keep growing and thinking outside of the box so that we can come up with ideas that people wouldn't think, out of the blue.
Yeah, like when I got Val Venus that one time, I mean, the conversation lasted like nearly 2 hours. I had to chop up the interview into like two parts, but that was something else. He's actually a really good live guest, I think, because I think a lot of people in the chat would interact, and it's not as easy as people think to have podcasts, as especially lives, because you have to interact with the chat room. It can't be a moderator, it can't be a third party. It's got to be you, or it takes away from the whole like the whole mystique and aura of it. And they want to speak to your fans, but I like to treat it all as conversations with the streams, and treat my viewers as like flies on the wall, because that's literally what they are at that point. They're just listening to the whole conversation, blah, 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 and what's going on. But yeah, I love doing this, and I like doing the podcast. It's fun.
Yeah. And it's so amazing that you're out there going to all these conventions and signings, still doing stuff in the wrestling business. So cool that you're able to still get your name out there. People still remember you, still going strong.
Thank you. Yes, it's a definite gift, and I'm very grateful for it.
Absolutely. Well, Jasmin, I want to say thank you so much for coming on to Wrestling with Heart. It means a lot to me and to my listeners and viewers that are watching this on YouTube. Where can people find out more about you, your podcast, any social media plugs? Feel free.
Sure. So on Instagram, it's The Real Jasmin St. Clair, JasminStClaire. Twitter, it's just Jasmin St. Clair. YouTube, it's Krazy Train Podcast, Krazy with a K. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, Jasmin, and you're more than welcome to come back.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. And don't forget to get your copy now of Champions for a Cause Volume 1. You can find it on Amazon.com for $15 in paperback. Here's stories from Mark Marrow, Tito Santana, Jake the Snake Roberts, Buff Bagwell, and so many of your favorite wrestling personalities. I'm Stanley Carr, and I will see you next time. Thank you for tuning in.
This is Wrestling with Heart. I hope you found this podcast to be informative and entertaining. If you did, please hit the subscribe button and look out for the next edition.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Hi, this is Zoe Deutsch.
And Nick Robinson. Our brand new movie, Voicemails for Isabel, is all about those little moments that feel like the universe is looking out.
Feeling homesick, then your sister calls.
Hearing that perfect song exactly when you need it. Sometimes life rigs things in our favor, like learning about your new favorite rom-com, Voicemails for Isabel. Now playing only on Netflix.
Are you one of those media strategy people clicking through slides, scrolling spreadsheets? Yes? Good. This is for you. Because on Spotify, there's an audience that's different, locked in, loyal, invested. They're called fans. Fans don't just listen to music. They feel seen by it, like it belongs to them. So when your brand shows up on Spotify, that's who you're talking to. And you're right next to artists like me, Lizzo. So, are you ready to talk to fans? Spotify advertising. You're among fans.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.